Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another episode of Conversations with Chris and Cameron. It's episode 47. I'm Chris Beesmore, and
And Cameron Waddle.
I'm making sure you pronounce your name so I don't mess it up like I did a
Yeah.
couple of episodes ago.
Hey, no worries. We got to figure it out.
Yeah, we got it all figured out. We're filming a late night one. It's currently past midnight. It's just now Wednesday, so we're going to be, of course, talking Kentucky with the big win against Arkansas. Nobody was expecting UK to get that win, and then of course we're going to preview mainly Oklahoma and talk a little bit about Tennessee. Of course, the Denims are coming back this Saturday, so that's going to be incredible. I can't wait for that. I need to get my own merch and gear. I haven't done that. Maybe I'll ask my girlfriend to get that for either our anniversary, which is in like another week, or for my birthday in about another month and a half.
Yeah, well, happy early anniversary for sure. But
Yep.
yeah, it's denim week and all the denim stuff. I've seen it's gotten a little bit of hate online just because they're saying it's not enough denim. I don't think there's a way that Nike can make enough denim to be able to satisfy the fan base, but at least that we got this little pinch of denim on these white, on all these different white clothes and stuff. I think it looks sick. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a little subtle, but they got that old logo on there, the unparalleled tradition. So it's got all the good stuff. I got to get myself some.
Yeah, I definitely get myself some as well, and I agree with the fans. So, like, it's white. It's not really too much denim. Like, there needs to be a little bit more denim. I feel like in the stuff that they're giving out. Like, whenever I saw that, I had the same reaction as Nick Rouch did with saying it's white, not denim.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe if we end up bringing out like the actual denims or something one
Hmm.
day, then they'll actually like bring a full denim type of thing. But I guess since we're wearing the white ones, then they're trying to keep it subtle or something.
Yeah,
But I mean, sick nonetheless. Like we haven't had denim in a while, but I
yeah.
do agree. There's a lot more white than there is denim, and that's a little disappointing.
Yeah, and I know people were upset that like Devin Booker was like the cover of, the jersey instead of like a Mark Pope player or like, a player from back in the day or something. But I think the only reason why they're doing that is because I think Devin Booker has been promoting that denim a little bit too.
Yeah, that is true. He had the D books that were a denim like colorway, but it was kind of odd just to see like a Cal era player
Yeah.
whenever we bring back the denim. But I mean, I don't know. Like you said, he's been kind of promoting that and been rocking denim for a while. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand it from that aspect, but it was a little odd to see.
Yeah, but enough talking about the denims. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the podcast. But we want to talk about UK's big road win upset against Arkansas. I couldn't believe it whenever it happened. Like, I got to watch basically the first half before I got busy. I went on a double date with my girlfriend and a couple of her friends. So it was great. I enjoyed it. Of course, I wish I could have watched that second half where UK won 85 to 77. I did watch the second half later, like I watched the replay of it, and it got me a little nervous whenever UK had those three technical fouls in 32 seconds. You had Brandon Garrison, Mo Diabate, and then Mark Pope. We can talk about that in a discussion if we thought, all three technicals were worth it in the second half. I can say two of the three were worth it, like maybe, like I really don't think Mo Diabate's technical was worth it. But, Brandon Garrison, I understand. Mark Pope, I slightly understand. But definitely that Mo Diabate tech was uncalled for. And, Otegowe's tech in the first half was also called for. Like, I thought he deserved the tech. But, you could argue like two of the three, like in the second half, shouldn't have happened, though. Or like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, in that like stretch right there.
yeah,
Um, Yeah, I will say, so I'll go chronological order with the four that you had brought up. I do think in the first half, yes, it
yeah,
was validated. I understand
yeah,
those. And it's one of the funniest things in the world to me that Owe, it's now happened twice, and I wish we had a better picture from it. I mean, there's the Trevin Brazil picture that came out where he's like over Owe's shoulder and Owe's just not even paying attention to him at all. There's the Jalen Carey picture at the end of the Tennessee game where he's in his face like smiling
yeah,
while everybody's just yelling at him. It's like he like puts a little like match under a little fire and then just like
yeah,
walks away. It's like he adds gas to it and then he
yeah,
walks off like I have nothing to do with this. Like he
yeah,
had that little fight, little thing where I mean, I don't think he did anything wrong technically, but he like walks
uh-huh.
in front of them at the free throw line,
He didn't.
gets them all ticked off. and then he just starts walking around. I know he gave Billy Richmond a little shove, but like it
Yeah.
was hilarious. It's
Yeah.
objectively funny the fact that he just like starts stuff, walks off. It's so funny to me. But
Yeah.
then so that one I understand. I understand that from both sides. You gotta set the tone, say this is not okay. Um, but then Brandon Garrison, that's just a Brandon Garrison
Yeah.
like he's just
Yeah.
like I have to do something dumb right now. Like he just has to like every now and
I'm
then
gonna
he's like
get
it's
up.
been too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna do. Which honestly, for that possession, there were a couple times where Darius Acuff would get one of our guys on an island, and I would be like, "Oh no! Like what's
Yeah.
about to happen? He's about to shake him, get to the rim, get an and one or something." And honestly, that one and a couple others came to mind where like we actually low key put the clamps on him. That was one of them, and I was like, "Oh shoot, BG!" I was all hype and stuff, and then he stands over him, and I'm like, "You literally did 99% of this play
Yeah.
perfect." In the final 1%, all you have to do is just be a normal human and not stand over the man that you just guarded, and you'll be perfectly fine. And I was like, this dude just ruined it all.
Yeah.
So that one, I also agree with you.
Yeah.
Very dumb. He deserved it.
Yeah.
No need to do that at all.
Yeah.
Like it was stupid. Then I can't even. I mean, it's brutal because I think I had said these exact words for the Oway hook against Ole Miss. That's the worst like call I've
Yeah.
ever seen for the Mo Diabate
Yeah.
block. That one now takes the throne because he
Yeah.
literally looks in the crowd. And I
Yeah.
said at the time I was like, that's the same exact celebration that you'll see a 43-year-old man do in a church league tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
it's the same celebration that every dude that's ever played basketball has ever done when they've blocked somebody on a drive. They
Yeah.
look into the crowd, and I'm pretty sure I'm not a professional lip reader, but pretty sure he said, "Give me that S word, boy." But he said it to the crowd, not looking at Darius Acuff. Nothing wrong with that at
Yeah.
all.
Nothing wrong.
And he
I
gets
agree.
teed up. I was just mind blown, flabbergasted. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then the Pope one, that one's just tough because I just want to know like what he said. And also,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a because before he even got to tech, it was the 10-second violation.
Yeah.
I was like, was he not across by the time they blew the whistle? Like I was a little, which maybe it's
Yeah.
delayed, whatever. But I thought he was across. But I guess it all just depends on what Pope said. Like if he said something and you're like, all right, well, I don't know about all that. But it also maybe worked. I know
Yeah.
it everything had shifted Arkansas's direction at that point.
Yeah.
But maybe him getting the team fired up in that way was very beneficial. So I don't really know what
Yeah.
he said, but I do agree with you that the Mo one, horrendous. Take their
Yeah.
whistle. That was
Yeah.
awful. The Brandon one, what are we doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that was deserved, but what are we doing, BG? It was just
Yeah.
kind of, it was a whole
Yeah.
mess right there.
Yeah, I feel like most fans can agree at least with two of the four techs that were called on UK, maybe three, like with the Mark Poe, but everybody I think agrees with Mo Diabate that should have not been a tech. And like I said, or like you were saying, it just really depends on what Mark Pope said to the ref and everything. But like after those three techs were called in 32 seconds, I thought, oh no, this game is over. Arkansas is going to win this game because they went on a huge run after that. I think it was like 11-3 run uh, during the technicals and everything. But no, UK actually, came back after Arkansas had that little run. They came back and won 85-77, and it was a very surprising victory. I was expecting a blowout, like I predicted in our, previous podcast that Arkansas was going to win, in a blowout 85-70. I just had no confidence after we got blown out against Vanderbilt and Nashville. I thought, oh no, we're going to go on the road again and just get blown out in Fayetteville against them. And honestly, this game reminded me a lot back in March of 2023 when UK had no guards at all. Antonio Reeves had to take over. UK won that matchup 88-79, and then of course Antonio Reeves went off, had 37 points, played all 40 minutes. He also had 2 assists and 1 rebound, and like I said, that game this year reminds me of the 2023 game all over again, basically.
Yeah, no, that one was unbelievable. Another against all odds type of game. But this one, I agree. Like, I mean, we talked about this one, and I know I'm naturally like a sunshine pumper, glass half full, everything sunshine and rainbows all the time. But like, I went into this one and I was like, I just don't really see a world where Kentucky wins this game. Like, this was the first time all year, because even though in the preseason I picked like whatever I had said for our record, it was like really high, but I still predicted losses in the preseason.
Mhm.
Like, well, I didn't have us going undefeated.
Yeah.
But every time we would get to a game, I'd be like, I just can't pick against the Cats. Like, it was
Mhm.
at Bama, the Louisville game, Michigan State, and like there was all these games we get to it, and I'm like, no, there's no way we lose. Like
Yeah.
it's Kentucky. But then we got to this one, and I was like, dude, I just can't see it. Like I don't see it. But then the closer and closer we got, which shout out to some of the guys at KSR, shout out to random users on Twitter. I would keep seeing stuff like closer and closer to the game. They'd be like, this is just a game that Cal would like maybe lose. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's fun to think about. Not gonna happen. They're way too good. Darius Acuff's playing great
Yeah.
ball right now. It's not gonna happen. They go out and do it. And
Yeah.
like you said, being able to bounce back from that one stretch, 3 texts in 38 seconds, that's one of
Yeah.
the most like remarkable outcomes I have
Yeah.
ever seen. Like it's not even if you're the better team, it's hard to come back from 3 texts in
Yeah.
that amount of time, let alone being the team that's the underdog. That was like, whenever the line came out, I was kind of shocked. I don't remember what it closed at, but it was like 5 or 6. And
Uh,
like, I thought it'd be like 10, 11 when the line actually was going to come out. It
yeah.
wasn't as much as I thought. Like, I just thought there was no way in the world.
Yep.
But here we are. I mean, between the two teams, you have 6 texts and 1 flagrant.
Yeah.
Unbelievable game from Doug Shouse, the MVP.
Yep.
But
And
yeah, I
then the
mean,
very next day he officiated and called more dicks.
yeah, he's got to be stopped, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of like against all odds. Like it just makes no sense. And I will say, that night it was pretty fun because there were a lot of people that don't usually text me about Kentucky that were
Yeah.
texting me about Kentucky. Like people maybe I hadn't talked to in a while. Um, the varsity coach of the school that I coach at, he was texting me about it because it honestly felt like no matter where your stance is about like if you're a Kentucky fan, no matter what your stance is about like Charles Bediako and the current state of NIL and everything, like once the ball is tipped, you still want nothing more than to see Kentucky win the basketball game. And once you're in these type of mixes where
Yeah.
there's all this drama, all this chirping going back and forth, and it's your old coach on the other side there's so much like passion built up that like this 7-year-old in you comes out. And that's what it felt like from all those
Yeah.
texts that I was seeing from other fans and stuff. They were like, dude, what in the world? How did we win this game? This is so awesome. And then I'll also add this. So I'm from like the Louisville area my whole life growing up here. So I know a ton of Louisville fans. So
Yeah.
some that are extremely passionate, some of the biggest Louisville fans I know. They were texting me during the game saying, I'm genuinely pulling for you guys because you're getting screwed by the refs. It
Yeah.
was crazy.
Where-
Like they were like, once they would finally get a foul or something after that stretch, they'd be like, wow, they called one on them. This is crazy. They actually got one. Like it was an unbelievable night. It feels like a dream, not
Yeah.
because like it was our Super Bowl, but like that game was so big for so many different
Uh-huh.
reasons. But then you get all those fans texting me that maybe I hadn't talked to in a while. Get Louisville fans on our side, which
Mhm.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We won the Doug Shouse Bowl.
Yeah, we won the Douglas Bowl. Yeah, I usually only text like 4 or 5 people during games. Like you're, of course, one of them that text, and then like my girlfriend keeps me occupied, like trying to cheer me up if UK is like losing. But then she's like the greatest hype person ever. Like she'll, of course, cheer me up if UK is losing. But if they're doing very well, she's like, they are the best team ever. So I'm glad, I have a girlfriend who actually loves sports and everything and loves to watch as much as I do. So, like I love her like emotional support for sure whenever I'm watching these games.
That is an absolute blessing for sure. Because
Yeah.
I mean, as Kentucky fans, we are absolutely crazy. No, I mean,
Yeah.
we're not validating what Seth Greenberg said, where we have unrealistic expectations or something.
Mhm.
We don't want to hear
Yeah.
a word from him, but we are kind of crazy. Like when it comes down
Yep.
to it, Big Blue Nation is the best, most passionate fan base in the world. So
Mhm.
having an emotional support, like you mentioned, that's a blessing. So
Yeah.
like I don't text a ton during the games, like you said, like we text. I'll text in like a group chat and stuff, but I usually don't text. But I see all these like Louisville fans that I haven't talked to in weeks or months,
Uh-huh.
and they're just like texting me, and I'm like, what in the world do they want? So then I'll go
Yeah.
look. And they're like, dude, I'm kind of pulling for you guys. Like, you guys
Mhm.
are getting cheated. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, shoot. What is happening? It was a wild night.
Yeah, it was definitely a wild night. And, speaking of flagrant fouls and everything, I was surprised that DJ Wagner didn't get one in the first half whenever he basically shoved Colin Chandler right to the floor. I'm like, how's that not flagrant or at least a tech or something?
Yeah, that one doesn't make any sense. Like, when it's just completely, like, no part of him was going for the ball ever. And I
Yeah.
feel like, honestly, I don't know if this would be the case or not because they would need to blow their whistle by this point, anyways. But I wonder if, like, the ball going in had something to do with that. Like, if
Yeah.
he had missed it or something, and then they don't just have an and one situation, maybe they call a tech or something. But, like,
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. Like, and
Yeah.
I've always been a guy that's always kind of appreciated and respected DJ.
Yeah.
But come on, dude. Like, that's not even remotely close to like going for the ball.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, like you were saying, maybe, the Reds were like, hey, he made the shot, so, no dead ball tech or no flagrant. And that is also another thing that annoys me about any sport like college basketball or NBA, where they just don't call the foul unless, the ball doesn't go through the hoop or whatever. I'm like, just call it, if it's a foul, it's a foul. Like, you shouldn't wait to decide a moment if the ball goes through the hoop or not.
Yeah, no doubt. It is really annoying just to
Yeah.
see them kind of sit and wait around to decide those moments. It's just it's very annoying. But
Yeah.
maybe that was one of them, and maybe we witnessed that. But I don't see how there's a world where in the same game with the exact same officials, you get Mohamed Diabate yelling at the 10th row, something to hype himself up
Yeah.
is worse than DJ Wagner two-hand karate chopping Colin in the head.
Yep, I hear you. And just talking a little bit more about this Arkansas UK game, though, I believe one of the big reasons why UK won is, of course, they slowed down Darius Cup. He actually had a big game, but in the first half, I don't know his stats exactly, but I know he was in the single digits. He finished the game with 22 points, but
I think it was like 4 or 5 points maybe in the
yeah,
first
he
half.
only had like 4 or 5 points in the first half, and I believe like slowing him down in the first half had a huge impact. Of course, he started to heat up in the second half, and he was great. Like I said, finished with 22 points. But slowing down both Darius Cuff and Malik Thomas, those were key. Of course, Thomas scored 10 points the whole game, but I thought if UK, had a fighting chance, like they needed to stop both of those players. Of course, other players had great games for Arkansas and everything. One player that, had a really bad game, or two bad players had a bad game, I would say, is Nick Pringle, 13 minutes, 0 assists, and 0 points. And then, of course, Carter Knox didn't do anything in 16 minutes, only have one rebound. I feel like if those two players, or even one of them, probably step up, Arkansas probably gets this win.
Yeah, I agree. And I heard Kyle in the post game talk about how he had gone up to Carter Knox after the game and he was like, "Hey, like we're going as far as you take us. Like we're gonna need you to show up a little bit." And he goes out there and has an 0 for 1. Like it's not even like he was like physically taken out of the game. Like
Yeah.
and that was like a big takeaway of that. Because if you go out there and you have two starters with zero that
Mhm.
don't really affect the game a whole lot outside of that, you're gonna be in a pretty good spot. And like
Yeah.
I mean, for this Kentucky team, like as good as like we were supposed to be defensively, there's been times that we haven't been able to stop teams and
Mhm.
like sit down and guard somebody at certain times. So being able to like, I know allowing 77 is not like the '04 Pistons of sports, but like outside of Acuff, like nobody was really like just getting whatever they wanted. It was kind of people had to work for it. They had to hit a lot of shots or something like I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
them being able to shut them down completely was very, very key in that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Acuff, like for Owe to go out with 24 on the offensive end,
Yeah.
like his most impressive like part of his game might have been that. I mean, it's hard to just limit it to one half because it's not as impressive. But like his first half defense on Darius Acuff was like
Mhm.
shutting him down. Like he was extremely frustrated, very, very mad, like throughout that entire first half. And obviously he got going a little bit in the second half, and
Yeah.
they did some things to be able to get him shots. But like Owe, as good as he was on the offensive end, he was just as good
Yeah.
on the defensive end. And that also, I mean, speaks to a little bit of how good Darius Acuff is as a player because he's one of those dudes that like going into it, I think if you would have told me, even though I said there was no world where it could have happened, if you would have said like how would Kentucky win this game, like stat line, what do you think you'd have to see? And I was like, I mean, just I would have said maintain Darius Acuff. Don't let him get like 30 plus. Just hold him to like in the 20s.
Yeah.
Lower would be nice, but if you can hold him to 22, you're going to be in a real good spot. And if you would have told me we would go into this game and two of their starters would combine for zero,
Yeah.
you would feel pretty good about going into this one.
Yeah, of course, Billy Richmond, of course, also went off for Richmond, for Arkansas. Yeah, that big dunk that I think caused Arkansas to get the lead in the second half, but of course, Kentucky fought back. And, talking now more about Kentucky, I mean, the whole roster, like, they did their part whenever they had playing time, like you were saying. Oteyowe went off for 24 points, had 8 rebounds and 3 assists, and that was one of the most impressive games that, I've seen out of him in a while. And like he always does stuff against Oklahoma, so we'll see what happens on Wednesday whenever UK plays against him. Hopefully, UK doesn't need another game winner to defeat them this time because he's already got two game winners against them.
Yeah, I'm hoping we don't have to find ourselves in that situation again. But
Yeah.
yeah, for Oweh, like playing 38 minutes in a basketball game of that level is very,
Mm.
very impressive. I mean, and him and Aberdeen playing that much was awesome, and they were a big key of how we got there. But like, man, he was unbelievable. Like he
Yeah.
was just literally. It felt like the Oweh of last year, where it was like, oh, he has one thing on his mind, and it's to like go out of his way to do whatever he can do to win a basketball game. Like
Yep.
that was exactly whether it was just getting downhill, getting to the line, hitting
Mm.
a tough shot, like just jumping in passing lanes or something, like whatever he needed to do the entire time, he was there all the
Yeah.
time. It felt like I mean, it's tough to say because like he's obviously had some really really good games, but like
Yeah.
that might be the best game I've seen Oweh play. Like he
Yeah.
was out there as like a killer mentality, and 24 points was just like he got him. I mean, he hit clutch free throws too. Like I mean, he'd obviously missed some throughout, but like between his defense in that first half, between
Mhm.
the offense and the downhill driving that he brought, like he was unbelievable. I thought he was phenomenal in this one.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And uh, speaking a little bit more about Owe, apparently he injured his ankle, and that happened days before the game. So I was very happy that he was able to go and play. I mean, like, I don't know what's up with all these injuries right now. Braden Hawthorne, he's injured, and there's been speculation that he could, burn his red shirt, but right now he isn't healthy at this time. So it's just insane how many injuries UK has had, even before Mark Pope got here. But since last year with Lamont Butler, Kirk Ariza, uh, you know, Jackson Robinson this year, with Jalen Lowe being out for a majority of the year with his shoulder, and then Jaden Acquaintance, he came back from his torn ACL, but is dealing with issues with his knee right now, and I don't think he's playing against Oklahoma tomorrow. So like UK has dealt with so many injuries, and I just want the injury bug to finally stop though.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I posted I guess a little over a week ago. I posted the injuries in the Mark Pope era, and there were 12, and some of those guys had multiple. That didn't even
Yeah.
include Braden Hawthorne at this point. Um, I mean, it's just been a brutal, brutal stretch right here. Like I don't know what it is, but it's been a problem, and it's just been kind of lingering around. So it's been rough. But yeah, the new Braden Hawthorne one is just crazy because it's like even our red shirts are injured
Yeah.
somehow. Like it's it's
Yeah.
it's just getting everybody, and I don't know what it is because like if you look if you usually like the SEC injury reports or whatever before the games, like nobody else really deals with it, and we're just like minimum three every game.
Yeah.
It's like we start with three. Will it be like eight, or are we just gonna have like three out? It's just crazy. It's
Yeah,
been
definitely.
brutal. But honestly, I mean, credit to Pope. Like, I mean, as much as like he's gotten hate wise, like he has three starters out and
Yeah.
he's going to Arkansas and winning games. Like that is
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the Reeves one earlier, like the most improbable Kentucky wins at Arkansas. Like Hope now has joined that company as
Yeah.
one of them, and I mean
Yeah.
it's a phenomenal win to be without these guys and still go out there and win a game.
Yeah, and then of course last year UK had that improbable win against Tennessee on the road. Like nobody was expecting UK to win because Lamont Butler was out, Kirk Ariza was already out with his broken foot, and then you had to rely on basically Travis Perry and Trent Noah. And of course that was Trent Noah's coming out game where, like he didn't shoot, a lot of shots, but he had like 6 points in that Tennessee game, and we needed those 6 points to win.
Oh yeah, that was the origin of Mountain Mamba, I think, like that night.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that was awesome.
But you know what? I want to give a round of applause though to Colin Chandler. He's been killing it. He had 13 points, and he basically came in late in the second half. He had to deal with foul trouble. He subbed in for Trent Noah. Don't get me wrong, Trent Noah did great. In the first half, second half, like scoring, needing threes whenever we needed him to, shoot and everything. But he comes in for Trent Noah. Colin Chandler, he breaks the press and then he gets to the paint, hits a fadeaway shot, and that was basically the dagger against Arkansas. And he's been killing it. Like I want to talk about him. Like Chandler, he had that Hail Mary pass, of course, to Malachi Marino. against LSU. Marino hits the game winner. Then in the Tennessee game, basically Chandler, he was being the defensive back. He gets a steal, gets the assist to Otega away. Away, of course, makes the basket. UK, never trails after that. And then, of course, he also hit a dagger three versus Ole Miss. Like, it's just been insane since basically like SEC play that Chandler has regained his confidence again, and then he's showing out that he's being very successful. And if he continues to do that, like he's going to help UK have a deep run in the NCAA tournament, hopefully.
Yeah, no doubt. He was awesome in this one. Like you mentioned, the clutch shot was right there too. Like it was amazing to see that. Like it felt like that play went slow mo. Like as soon as he like kind of like stopped to go like spin back and fade, I was like, it felt like slow mo to me. It was crazy. And I remember somebody like I don't know, somebody who I was with at the time, they were just like, that was like Kobe, and I was like, oh, I mean, that's, well, I don't know if we can talk like that level now, but
Yeah.
like but I mean, he's been awesome. Like you mentioned, the clutch moments that he's stepped up in, as of recently, the pass, and then the Tennessee, like you said, playing DB. He hears the set that they're running, jumps past the lane, gets it to Owe. And then obviously the Ole Miss dagger that was from deep. It was just like, all right, well,
Yeah.
let's just go win a ball game.
Yeah.
He's been awesome, and like this is just so like ironic because of like they kind of look similar and all this stuff, but like I had tweeted out something Saturday. It was while BYU was on their miraculous comeback at Kansas, and I was like, "Man, Richie Saunders was so close to being a
Yeah.
Wildcat." And I posted the picture of him at the airport, and like obviously Colin and Richie look a little bit alike. They're both Mormon. They're both from Utah. Like there's all the similarities. But then someone was like, "That shot is the start of Colin becoming Richie Saunders," and I was like, "All right." I mean, I'll take it, but like, I don't know if we're like pinpointing one point,
Yeah.
but like, that is a Richie Saunders play. If we're talking about that, like, Richie Saunders, one of the best players in the country. He's gonna be like Big
Yeah.
12 first team possibly. So like, Colin Chandler's out there. Obviously, he only finished with 13. Richie had like 30 something on Saturday, but like, Colin is just in year two. Like, I know he's older as a sophomore and all this stuff, but like, he's just in year two.
Mhm.
Going into that environment, like I've never been to Bud Walton Arena, but everybody's talked about it being like one of the craziest environments in the world.
Yeah.
And he goes and hits big shots, two threes in that one, and has that late one. Like,
Yeah.
hats off to him. Like he just
Yeah.
continues to come up time and time again, coming up clutch every single game that we need him in this last little run right here.
Yeah, and like I said, everybody stepped up for UK to get that win. Like Andrei Yelovich had 7 points. Malachi Marino almost had a double-double with 11 points and 7 rebounds. Like we could go through the whole roster and everything and talk about how everybody stepped up. And I I'm actually looking at this stat for the first time. I'm surprised. Trent Noah almost had a double-double as well, 9 points, 7 rebounds. So he was getting the boards for UK and everything. I'm actually surprised by that stat. I knew he hit a couple of threes and everything, but I didn't know he almost had a double-double.
Yeah, Trent was absolutely phenomenal. He was honestly my biggest takeaway. Like obviously Owe, I mean that the dude wakes up and has 15. But like obviously he goes out there and has all the points and everything um down that stretch. But like Trent Noah was awesome. Like he
Yeah.
was just fighting. I mean, for every single rebound. Like so he had 7 rebounds, and then I'm trying to look across the board. So that was tied for the third most in the game. It was
Yeah.
Owe, Trevin Brazil, and him and Malachi both with 7. Like he's out there with some of these dudes that are playing. Like for Owe, 38 minutes. Trevin, 37 and a half. Malachi, 27 minutes. And here, Trent Noah in less than 20 minutes, 19 minutes and 18 seconds, 7 rebounds. Like that's just absolute fight. And
Yeah.
he was a +8 in this game. Like he was awesome. Like
Yeah.
he had the crazy play that was so like out of body experience, I'd imagine, for Trent Noah, turning
Mhm.
around and shushing the crowd. And I saw that he said he had never done that before. So
Yeah.
he said, I don't even really know what happened, which is kind of a funny response. But
Uh-huh.
like when he did that, I was like, there's no way. Did he
There's
actually just
no.
like turn around and hush the crowd? He did. And it was one of those games that like it was awesome to see because Cal didn't recruit him. Like as soon
Yeah.
as Pope got the job, it was like, hey, Harlan County's got this kid going to South Carolina. Like he's kind of going crazy,
Yeah.
all
Let's
this
get
stuff.
him.
And he has that run. Let's go scoop him up. Now he's here and in his sophomore year making big time plays in a road game at Arkansas
Yeah.
against the guy that wouldn't recruit him. That's pretty awesome to see.
It is pretty awesome to see. And basically, it comes down to just having confidence. Like, it felt like Colin Chandler had a lot of confidence going into the season. And, it looked like he was taking a step back, but his confidence has came back. And then Trent Noah, like, his confidence, like, has not been here basically all season. It has felt like. And hopefully, with this Arkansas game, Trent Noah can actually have his confidence back, and then we can use them come Oklahoma, Tennessee, or the SEC tournament or the NCAA tournament. Like, of course, every player has to have confidence and they have to, play well. Like, we can't come out like we did against Vandy and get blown out by 25 points. So,
Yeah, no doubt. And like the whole Trent Noah situation, shout out to my papa. He's one of the biggest Trent Noah fans in the world. And I think that kind of speaks for everybody, like in the eastern part of the state. Like my papa grew up in Rockcastle County and grew
yeah,
up in that area and everything. Like the 13th region is just absolutely loved. And if you're from there, you're absolutely like just one of the most like loved humans ever. So like him coming from Harlan County, like he's got a special
mhm,
group that has a whole lot of pride about him. And going into this one, I mean, my papa was like, hopefully he's got some like confidence or whatever, and he gets some more looks and they make an extra pass to him from time to time. And
yeah,
that's what happened. Like he just
yep,
got the extra pass, shot it with confidence. And honestly, maybe the most important part of his game. So he hit the 1-3, shushed the crowd, but he was 6 for 8 from the line.
yeah,
Very, very clutch free throws when we needed them most. And he stepped up big time. And I
yeah,
can't even imagine what it would be like in that environment, just how loud Bud Walton Arena is. And stepping in there
yeah.
as a kid from the 13th region that just wasn't recruited by this last guy,
Mhm.
going in there and just having absolute ice in your veins to be able to knock those down.
Hey,
It's pretty awesome.
I might pull up to Harlan if Trent Noah guy.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Mont. Shout out
Yeah.
Mont.
Shout out Lamont Butler. Hopefully he's doing well. If y'all don't know about him, he's been recovering from a torn ACL, and I think also he tore his meniscus. So hopefully his surgery is, or like his surgery went well, and he's making progress to return.
Yeah, I made I don't know if you saw this. I made a tweet about him last week and I saw nearly every comment, like I mean every comment was flooded for hours and days, and it was just BBN extending the most love ever.
I
And
did
his
see him too.
dad liked every single one of those tweets. Like he was
Yeah.
like so happy about like seeing how his son, like I'm sure he feels like he's raised a pretty good young man, but like seeing how an entire fan base feels
Yeah.
about him. Like Lamont is a dude that like I can't imagine there's a single person in all of BBN that doesn't like the guy. So
Yeah.
I'm sure I speak for all this fan base when we say prayers for him
Yeah.
and hoping he recovers quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I do agree with your tweet. Like, let a player play 4 years at a university, use their grad transfer, and then play somewhere else for their last year. Like, I agree with your tweet and everything, but of course that won't ever happen with now the transfer portal and everything. But it shows how much Lamont Butler was beloved by the whole San Diego State fan base.
Yeah, like it's awesome to be able to like I know it's crazy. I remember Tyler Shuck went um on Pardon My Take, and now he went to like Texas Tech, Oregon, and Louisville. He said that like he kind of hinted at the point that like nowhere feels like home. Lamont Butler truly has two homes. Like he
Yeah.
went 4 years, became a legend, hit an iconic shot for San Diego State.
Yep.
He's there. He can always go back. He's got a home, but he can also, I promise you, anytime come to Lexington, he's not paying for a meal. He's not paying for whatever he needs in the 859. Like I guarantee that. Like
Yeah.
he's done it the right way. I know you could do the grad transfer and everything before
Yeah.
like this current world of the transfer portal. And I agree if your coach leaves or whatever, I agree with it. You
Yeah.
should be able to go. But like there's a whole lot of like respect and hats off to the dudes that like stick
Yeah.
around and get like raised up in a program and then kind of leave for 1 year once it's like their grad transfer. It's just Lamont's just one of a kind.
Yeah.
He's a dying breed for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely a dying breed for sure. But do you have anything else you want to talk about with this Arkansas game before we transition to talk about Oklahoma?
Um, I would say I'm trying to think. Well, I want to mention Malachi Moreno, just like you mentioned him briefly a minute ago. I can't find it. I was trying to look at it live, and I could be like misremembering, but I'm pretty sure he was the one that had a late block on Acuff when he tried to get to the rim, and I think it was Acuff that was getting to the rim, but he had like a late block. So to add to Colin Chandler being extremely clutch, like on the other end of the pass
Yeah.
was Malachi. He also had the block on Jalen Carey at the end of the Tennessee game.
Yep.
I feel like I'm forgetting one, but like he had this one. in this game. Like he's been phenomenal. Like he's
Yeah,
come up clutch, and he's obviously been a real good player for us
yeah,
so far. And then I guess the one thing lineup wise, the start of that game went so well. Like I had
yeah.
turned it to
It did for one.
ESPNU or whatever it was on, but like by the time it switched the actual main broadcast, it was like 12-5. And we're like,
Yeah,
what in the world happened? I think we scored like 10 of our first 11 possessions. It was crazy.
yeah.
It was absolutely wild.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up, but yeah, you're right. UK actually started off hot against a team and not actually slow, not scoring at all. And, I was so surprised and shocked whenever, UK got up, like you were saying, 12-5 early on, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and I honestly think a big credit to that is Andrea Yelovich. Like I mean, I think he went hit like one shot early or something, but like late in that game to be able to like sustain things, he hit the one clutch three that was awesome, and then he had a no 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 yes play where he had the ball in his hands for so long. And I was like, just get
Yeah.
rid of it, getting towards the end of the shot clock, and he got downhill and finished, and I was like, that was awesome. More of that would be
Yeah.
amazing. So credit to that first group with those starters. They were
Yeah. And,
awesome
and
in that.
what's so funny? Mark Pope said before the season started that, all the players were able to dribble the ball up court except for Andrei Yelovich. He was, of course, joking about that, but he said before the season started that all the players are allowed to dribble the ball except for Andrei Yelovich. He can't dribble at all. So I just find it funny that you see him dribbling the ball all the time, every now and then.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. But I guess the last thing, if you don't have anything else, the record since joining school stat was like floating around right before the game
Yep.
that both
Same
coaches were
record.
38 and 19. And
Yep.
now coming out of this one, we're on the winning end of it. We
Yeah.
have a 39 and 19 coach, while Arkansas
Woo!
is stuck with a 38 and 20 coach. So
Yeah.
woo pig
I
suey. It sucks for you guys.
Woo Pig Sue, yeah. I just can't believe real quick, and then we can get into Oklahoma. I just can't believe that Coach Cal has this record after they start out 0-5 in SEC play. SEC play last year. I couldn't believe it. I thought, Arkansas was done for once they started out 0-5, but of course they were the number 10 seed and then NCAA tournament got to the Sweet 16. Honestly, they should have gotten to the Elite Eight. They blew a 16, 18-point lead against Texas Tech. I couldn't believe it, but that's normal Cal for you. Blowing leads
Yeah.
whenever you should win.
I will say that was one of the most successful hate watches ever because I was like,
Yeah.
he can't go farther than us. There's no way.
Yeah.
Um, but I actually so I'll end this with two questions. So you mentioned they were 0-5 in SEC play last year, came in 1-6 to Rupp,
Yeah.
and we were the ones that were like the favorites, and they were kind of reeling and all this stuff, and they had no reason to go win that game.
Yeah.
They won it. Their season completely switched and
Yep.
flipped around. Do you think that game this year has the same effect for us?
Well, I think UK has been on a real nice streak already. I think we've already won 6 of our last 7 games. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't think it
Yeah.
really matters right now, but I
Well, I
sure
think
hope
it's just
so.
like how low the fan base was after Vandy because it was
Yeah.
basically like we didn't
Yeah.
even win 5 of our last 5 games. Like we
Yeah.
we had forgotten about that how
Yeah.
low we were after Vandy.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I'm talking about. Do you
Yeah.
think this one completely shifts the vibes?
I believe so. I mean, it just literally depends though on what happens against Oklahoma and Tennessee. I do feel like if UK can go 2-0 this week, defeat Oklahoma, defeat Tennessee, then like I do think though this Arkansas win can switch the whole season around, and I'm hoping UK can get 20, 21 wins. I feel like that should be possible for sure right now. I mean, I'm trying to pull up their record. Currently, they are 15-7, and right now, I just want them to win 5 or 6 more games. If they do that, they for sure get a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I would take that 100%. I think it kind of shifts things like confidence wise too, being able to like I know we did it at Tennessee, but Arkansas is kind of I mean Tennessee seems like they're kind of figuring it out and they've won some good games recently, but like
Yeah,
Arkansas feels like they're another step up in the SEC like tiers to me.
yeah,
So being able to go win there and
mhm,
in that environment, like it just seems like confidence wise, it's going to be a big shift for them.
yeah.
But I have a kind of a two-parter as my next question. So where do you rank this win in the Mark Pope era? And
In
then
the,
like, yeah, well, yeah, actually, yeah, I guess I'll just end it there. Like, where do you rank this win in the Mark Pope era? Like, what would be your ranking of wins? Because I've
ooh,
seen people talk about it on Twitter. I've had a different list than what I think a lot of people are. Like, I've seen it as high as like two, and then I've seen some people have it. I mean, I have it at like 6. I mean,
Yeah,
it was a huge win because of the full vibe switch and everything. Like it kind of shifted everything. Like it wasn't expected at
yeah.
all. And then they come out and win this one. But where would you rank it?
Yeah, I would say it's probably I would say maybe 5 or 6. Like I feel like Duke is easily number one. And then probably maybe put Tennessee last year like on the road, like, nobody expecting us to win at like number two. I'm trying to think of all the,
So my list is Duke one, just because
yeah,
that was like the we're back, we're
yeah,
here, all this different stuff. Like that was just like that has to be one. And then I think the Illinois tournament win is
Illinois.
two, because that
Yeah.
one got you the second weekend. That was just a big monkey off our back. Like we hadn't been the second weekend. Like we saw those stats a million times. So
Yeah.
that would be two. And then I would say some mix of like I think the Gonzaga game was
Yeah,
huge
Louisville.
because like we that was another monkey on our back we couldn't get off. I think the Louisville win last year
Hmm.
is also higher just because it was like, all right, welcome back to UK. Now you have to go beat your rivals. Like so that one was the first step of that. So going to win that one. And then yeah, I think the Tennessee road game last year would probably be five for me. And I
Yeah.
think this one might be sixth
Yeah.
on my list. That would be my personal.
Yeah, I don't know. That Oklahoma game, both of those like stick out to me so easily. So I might I would probably definitely have this latest game against Arkansas probably, around I would say 6 through 10, like you were saying, like Duke, Gonzaga, Tennessee, Illinois. Let's see, I'm trying to think
Like
of
there's a few that I feel like
Louisville.
just have to be above it.
Yeah,
Like without question.
yeah, like you were saying, like probably my list would include above it would be like I was saying, Duke, um, Vandy, or not Vandy, Duke, Louisville, Tennessee,
Illinois,
Illinois,
Gonzaga.
Oklahoma, Gonzaga. So
Yeah.
that would
Yeah,
probably
I
be
do
my
agree with
six.
the I hadn't even thought about the Oklahoma SEC tournament game.
Yeah,
That one for me might be above this one just because that was
yeah,
another thing. Like we just couldn't win an SEC game. Like it was just kind of it was an annoying thing that we had
yeah,
just kind of piled on us. The end of the Cal era, we couldn't win an SEC tournament game. So that one might be because
yeah.
of also the moment with it. Um, which also kind of leads to my second question because this was also because of the wins ranking. I had seen a lot of like what are the best moments of the Cal era, and it's very
Uh-huh.
fitting because we're now playing a team tomorrow that we have two buzzer beaters against in one season. So what would be like your top five moments of the Pope era?
Top five moments. Well,
Yeah.
probably defeating Duke, of course, defeating
Is there
Louisville.
like a moment though, like the always
Moment.
steal?
Like the probably top five moments would be probably the Colin Chandler steal for Otego to take the lead against Tennessee this past year. Then of course you got the Otego steal versus Duke. That happened. I can't say one given moment against Louisville though. Like I would say Lamont Butler though going off for 33 points, shooting I think 15 for 15 from the field, something crazy like that. Like that's another moment that stands out to me. And then just I'm trying to think of anything else. Like of course coming back from 20 down against Gonzaga was crazy in Seattle, but those were some of the great moments that stand out to me. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought necessarily how I would rank them, but the ones that come to mind, which maybe this one will kind of jump into your list at this point, but the Malachi Miracle,
The
the LSU
Malachi,
shot,
yeah,
like that
LSU,
one as
yeah,
a
give that,
moment
yeah,
is crazy to me because that one, I mean, that one literally had Rick Pitino making videos about it last week where it was like a Kentucky alum wrote me something and it was like this long thing saying like I forgive you because they had an inbounder on the ball and they still did it at LSU and all this stuff. So I think that I don't know if that'd be one
yeah,
because I think one might be the SEC tournament
yeah,
Oklahoma buzzer, and then Malachi might be two because like I mean the Oklahoma games were just insane. And then
yeah,
three would probably be the always steal. And like you said, I mean the Louisville game and the Gonzaga game don't really have a certain pinpoint. I feel like the end of the Gonzaga game, it was literally just like, let's just spam Andrew Carr's short corner coming off of like a little like flex screen, I guess you would call it, and he'd just score every time.
yeah,
And then Lamont, like you said, he was just on fire. But
yeah,
I was just curious to see what your top five would be. I don't know if
yeah.
I think I definitely have a definitive top three that I would
Top three,
have.
yeah,
Yeah, and from that point, I don't know. Like this game also, this Arkansas game didn't necessarily have a moment from it. I
No,
mean,
it
the
did.
Colin Chandler shot, that one could be like considered a moment, but it still had some
Yeah.
time left. But that
Yeah.
one was just kind of like the dagger. But we've had some, I mean, Pope's had some crazy moments
Yeah,
in
he's
1.5
yeah,
years
the
here.
crazy moments, and you can't forget about the Titanic. And basically, after Malachi Marino's game winner, where the assistant is hugging Mark Pope, and he's like this.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was
Yeah.
a phenomenal reaction to it.
Yeah, but enough talking about this Arkansas game. Let's finally transition to Oklahoma. Everybody should know who the leading scorer for Oklahoma is, Nigel Pack. If you all don't, he played at Miami of Florida. Of course, UK played against him actually whenever Miami of Florida came to Rupp Arena a couple years ago. I believe this was under Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepherd, DJ Wagner. So it's been a couple of years, but Nigel Pack, he's the leading scorer for Oklahoma. He's a six-year senior. He's only 5'10", 188 pounds, but he's averaging 16.3 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, and 3.1 assists, and basically shooting 46% from the field and 43% from the three-point line. So if y'all don't know who Nigel Pack is, then y'all need to look up UK versus Miami of Florida from a couple years ago, though.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully in that game, the one that you're referring to a couple years ago,
It
I
was a
remember
blowout.
that was my debut of being an assistant coach at the high school. So I remember that whole night like very vividly. I
Yeah,
had my phone on, so I missed the first half, and then I watched the second half, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're drumming these boys." It was
yeah,
crazy. And honestly, a big part of why we were able to absolutely beat their brains in was because Nigel Pack didn't have a great game in that one. He had two
yeah,
points, 3 assists. Like he didn't have the best game ever. But this is also a dude like can't really rely on like, oh, maybe he just fumbled in like the Rupp lights. The lights were too big. Like this dude's played in a Final Four with
yeah.
Miami. Like the lights are never too bright for this guy, and he's been a really good player for him all year. And I mean, you mentioned he's their leading scorer, averaging over 16 a game. Like he's going to be a guy that if you don't know, you're going to get familiar with him very very soon. Because
Yeah,
I mean, he came over as a plug and start guy, and he's literally got the ball in his hands a lot of the game, and takes a lot of shots for him. So we'll
yeah,
get to know him, but we're gonna have to slow him down for sure.
yeah, for sure. And I was actually at that UK Miami Florida game. I went with one of my friends from my high school, Will Frank, and he and I we watched the game from the nosebleeds, and we were just cheering them on, and we were so happy. UK blew out Miami of Florida, and who knew that it was John Calipari's last year? And I do remember like UK posting a video, like the journey video after the Miami game. And I remember like Jen Coleman had me ready to like run through a brick wall with his pregame speech saying like they think you all are like terrible, like Miami, Florida, they have the better guards compared to us and blah blah blah. And I was like ready for it, ready to run through a brick wall after, UK posted that video.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Though you just brought up that it was like uh they saying they're the best guards in the country. Let's show them. And then
Yeah,
like that was yeah, chills from that one. That was awesome.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean we need to strike some of that into our guys. We need Chin Coleman to just come back and give us a little speech before this one.
yeah, for sure. Now we don't want Jen Coleman to do that now.
No, we
Let
don't need him back in the program. We just need him for one speech.
Oh yeah, let him. Let's go to his Jeff Ruby's now.
Yeah, yeah. We'll offer him Jeff Rubius for one one motivation speech before the game.
Yeah, for sure. But continuing to talk about Oklahoma, another key player that they have is Xavier Brown. He's a 6'2" junior guard. And then he is averaging 16.2 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 3.2 assists, and then he's also shooting the ball very well, 46.6% from the field, and then of course 33% from the three-point line. So he's another player that UK will have to watch out. Their guard play is very important for Oklahoma, and just like last year with Fears. And like, I'm so glad Oklahoma they don't have a Fears this year. Like, I feel UK is going to be very well off because Jeremiah Fears is no longer there, and he's of course in the NBA.
Yeah, Jeremiah Fears was scary.
Yeah,
But this Xavier Brown, funny enough, that same season that you were referring to that we played Miami, we also played Xavier Brown. He was with that St. Joe's team. Everybody remembers Eric Reynolds, the guy that just balled out. He had like 20 or 30 on us or something. But
yeah,
Xavier Brown is a true freshman in that game, had 17 points. Like
yeah.
this dude's an
I
absolute player. And I remember when he was transferring, when he entered the portal after his sophomore year at St. Joe's, he was like, I mean, if you just look across college basketball media, like people absolutely love him. Like, and
Yeah.
I like him a lot too. I enjoy watching him. He's just extremely crafty. He
Mhm.
can score it at all three levels. He finishes really well around the rim. I think he's like 70% around the rim. Like he's a extremely dynamic player. Change of pace and everything. Like you mentioned, their backcourt. Backcourt is like, I know
Yeah.
they're 11-11. Like they're not one of the best teams in the SEC by any means, but like their backcourt can go. Like they can
Yep.
absolutely fill it up. They're averaging, what is that, 32 between the two of them. So like they're going to get
Yeah.
points. Like
32.
that backcourt
Yeah.
is really really good. It's going to be a big key to slow these guys down tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. And just continuing to talk about their team, and like you were saying, I had a feeling like I knew who Xavier Brown was. I just couldn't connect the dots. I didn't do research with him before, filming this podcast. But continuing to talk about their roster, Tay Davis, he's also another player who averages double-digit points for them. He's averaging 12.5 points per game. He also it's averaging 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists, nearly 1 steal, and he's shooting the ball very well as well. Nearly 50% from the field, but he's not a three-point shooter, so you don't have to worry about him. He's also a 6'9" senior.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, he finishes well once he's inside the 3 point line. He can finish around the rim and stuff, but not necessarily a threat when it comes to 3 point shooting. He's 6 for 36 from three
Hmm.
this year, but he can go out there and rebound it. He does some dirty work for him, so
Hmm.
he's gonna be a guy to watch, like on the glass, like must box out type of guy.
Yeah,
And like you said, senior from Indianapolis, like he's gonna come in
yeah,
with a lot of passion. I think he played at Notre Dame before here. Um, so like he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. Like that's
and
one of those
Seton
things that,
Hall before that.
oh, I did not know he played at Seton Hall.
Yep.
But I mean, anybody that grows up in Indiana, there's always like, it's like you're born to hate
Yeah.
Kentucky a little bit. And I want to say Nigel Pack is also from like Indianapolis or something. Um, like these dudes just have a chip
Yep.
on their shoulder. And
Yep.
it's also Oklahoma playing for Porter Moser's job. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a chance that if things don't kind of shift around here towards the end, then things will end up getting ugly there, and he might get fired. So
Yeah.
Tay Davis is one of those dudes that I feel like we're gonna have to like constantly stay on the glass with
Mhm.
him, and not let him get rolling or anything. Because I
Yeah.
mean, obviously the guards are gonna be the like main attention
Yeah.
that we'll be throwing towards. But like, man, Tay Davis is one of those dudes that we can't let
Yep.
get going.
Yeah, you're right about that. And then just continuing to talk about their team, they have four players who score in double digits. This is their last player that scores in double digits. It's Darion Reed. He's a 6'8" sophomore. He's averaging nearly 12 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and then also is shooting above 50% from the field. But he's also a player that you don't really have to worry shooting from behind the 3-point line. He's shooting 35.5%, but he's not the greatest 3-point shooter, so you don't really have to worry about him.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, I mean, he's shooting 35%, so he's capable, but he's
Yeah,
one of those dudes that you're not like flying on closeouts. Like he's not their backcourt. He's not
yeah,
the two with Brown and Pack. But
yeah,
obviously, I mean, it's been rinse and repeat with this team. Like you still
mhm,
have to close out. We still
yeah,
can't just let them shoot wide open threes. So he's
mhm,
gonna be one of those dudes, like maybe Tay Davis also. His 3 point
yeah,
percentage is way lower, but like Darion Reed's gonna be one of those guys where I hope that we're not like so keyed in on like these other two guards that like
yeah,
Darion Reed's just sitting out there and hits a couple
mhm,
of threes or something to shift some vibes. So I'm
yeah.
hoping that we can kind of stay true to him and keep him on a slow night as well.
Yeah, and he also actually played at Alabama. I completely forgot about him being on Alabama last year. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I remember the name, but I don't remember a whole lot of his Alabama days. He played in 24 games, started in three. But obviously,
Mhm.
I mean, if Alabama's recruiting him in the Nate Oates era, he can either fill it
Yeah,
up or he's going to rebound it, and he's got some toughness to him. So you kind of know
yeah.
the identity of Nate Oates'
Yeah,
recruitments.
yep, for sure. And just going through a little bit more about their roster and everything. The next player that you should know about is Muhammad Wagyu. I think that's how you pronounce
Wiggy.
it. Wagyu. Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
Wiggy.
Yeah, he killed us last year. I remember him
Yep.
last year on Oklahoma. I was like, if he hits the transfer portal, I would love to get him. So I do remember him being on Oklahoma's team last year. He's a 6'10" senior. He's only averaging 6.5 points per game, but he is the leading rebounder for the team with 6.6 rebounds and 1.3 assists, and he's also shooting 58% from the field. And he was definitely one of the players I was like, if he hits the transfer portal, like let's get him. He's also averaging 1.4 blocks though as well.
Like I honestly do remember him absolutely killing us, and it felt like he just destroyed us. Literally in the two games, he had 4 and 4 and 9 and 6, and had one block in one of them and no blocks in the other. I don't
Yeah,
remember that happening. I feel like maybe we remember him. I don't know. I'd have to do some more research on it, but like maybe we remember him because he got under BG's skin or something, and maybe there
yeah,
was like something that I don't know. But I remember him, like you said, I remember him like killing us like 15 and 10 type of game.
yeah,
But neither game he really did a whole lot. But you mentioned his block, so he can protect the rim a little bit, and he's still gonna be a guy that we're gonna have to focus in on rebounding wise. I mean, he's 6'10", he can grab boards, averages just below 7 a game. So
yeah.
we'll still have to pay attention to him. But I do remember him like killing us last year. But apparently that's a little placebo effect.
Yeah, for sure. But that's basically like their main roster that, like they have a high impact. Of course, they play a lot more players. They have about a 10 player team, like they play about 10 players, but there's basically only like five players that truly really make an impact for this Oklahoma team, which is insane to think about. Like I feel like you need like 7 or 8 players to make a true solid impact, and Oklahoma really only has 5 of those players.
Yeah, for sure. And I was hoping you'd get to the next guy, one of the most fun names in the sport, Qual
Well,
Attack.
yeah, call attack.
Yeah, Qual
Yeah,
Attack. I mean, they've got
yeah,
some names on this team, like,
yeah,
and some of them don't really play a whole lot, like you mentioned. Some of these guys don't really play a whole lot, but
yeah,
like, it's mainly just going to be the backcourt. Like, we just got to
yeah,
slow the
exactly.
backcourt down, and I think we'll be okay in this one. But
Yeah,
obviously, it's a tough task. It's not going to
yeah,
be easy.
yeah. And talking about call attack, I'll bring him up. He's a 6'9" freshman, 16.5 points per game, 1.2 rebounds, and shooting 46% from the field. So
Yeah,
that,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
he's a capable player, but like
yeah,
obviously, I mean, he like you said, freshman and like I don't know. I mean, he averages 1.2 rebounds as a 6'9" player, so like I don't really know what we're gonna expect from him, but he's also one of the guys that's like towards the end of the like rotation. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how much we end up seeing him in this one.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, and like I said, Oklahoma they play about 10 players a game, like 10 main players, but they really only have 4 players that truly, really, true, 4 players that truly, really make an impact on the team.
Yeah, yeah. So it seems like we're just gonna have to
Yeah,
kind of key in on. I feel like it's mainly just gonna be the backcourt. Like I'm
yeah,
curious to what we end up doing if we're. I don't know who. I guess I'm gonna go. I guess it'd be Zell guard Brown and or Zell maybe guard Pack and Oway guard Brown. I don't really know. I don't know what
yeah.
we're gonna do, but they're two really good guards that have kind
Mhm.
of just killed everybody they've played. It's just the rest of the team
Yeah,
hasn't shown up at times, and that's the reason why they've lost 8 straight games. But I
yeah.
mean, the guards always bring it.
11 and 11.
Yeah, yeah. 11 and 11, dropping 8 straight is just a tough look.
Yeah, definitely a tough look, but we can get into score predictions and the MVP, and then we can talk a little bit about Tennessee, and then we'll wrap up the podcast because we've been on for a little bit over an hour now. But let's talk, what we think the score predictions. So right now, the point spread is 9.5 for Kentucky. I'm surprised that it's up that much, but like you were saying, they are on an 8 game losing streak right now. And for me, I feel like UK, they are either going to probably cover the spread or like either they're going to barely cover it or barely not cover it. And I feel like this game could be like the Ole Miss game from earlier this year where UK only won by 9 points, 72-63. I feel like it could be similar to that. And I'm going to say Kentucky will not cover the spread. I do think it's going to be close throughout, like the Ole Miss game, but UK does get this win, and I'll say they'll win 78-71. Like Oklahoma, they'll keep it close throughout, but I have UK winning, and then I'll go player of the game. Let's go Way. Like he'll continue his 20-point streak. He'll have like 23 points, like 8 rebounds, and like 2 assists or something crazy like that.
Okay, okay. Uh, Part of me wants to actually just take Oklahoma because now we're undefeated with me choosing the other team. Like I don't know. I
Uh,
don't know if that needs to be something, but I won't do it this time. I'm still taking the Cats in this one. Like you said, 9.5 point favorite. Um, part of me is thinking like maybe that Arkansas game did really kind of shift some things, and we just kind of figured it out from this point, and maybe we just end up rolling and winning this one by a lot. Um, but I will go with somewhere around that line. I don't think personally I don't feel like we're gonna just blow it up and we'll win by like 30, but that would obviously be best case scenario. I'll go with 80, 81, 71. So that has us covering by half a point.
by
So
half point.
yeah, if you want to go with mine, then you take the spread. But
Yeah.
I mean, they're a team that's like played well in big time games. Like they played Nebraska early in the year. They lost by 6 in that one. And like, I think if you followed college basketball from this point, you know
Yeah.
Nebraska's
Pretty good.
absolutely legit. But obviously
Yeah.
they've got their 8 game skid and the guards have been really good. But with the guards being good, I think it's going to kind of not make it to where defensively they'll probably give us a lot that will be tough to handle and all this. So I think with this front court, we talked about not being like the most dominant front court we've ever seen. Like it's still a good front court, still got to respect them. But I'm actually going with the man that had the best game of his career against them last year, Brandon Garrison, as my MVP. He's going to come off the bench and he's going to have something like 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there, and like 7 off of the bench. This game means something to him. Starting at Oklahoma State, from Oklahoma City, in-state school.
Yeah.
There's a little something to it. I mean, he had the block at the end of the game last year on the road. Played a phenomenal game against them last year. I think he does it again, and he's actually my MVP in this one. It's a little different,
Yeah.
but I'm just going with the vibes of what we saw last year when we played in Norman.
Yeah. Hey, maybe Brandon Garrison actually starts against Oklahoma this on Wednesday.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind
Yeah.
of like we talked about the Arkansas game. I wanted to go with the same lineup, do the same everything because that was the
Yep.
one time all
Ev-
year that we actually had a good start.
Everything clicked for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that was the first time we'd all seen it where we kind of didn't mail it in the first 10 minutes. We actually played a
Yeah.
full game.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is wild.
Yeah, but let's talk quickly about Tennessee. We'll wrap up this podcast very soon. But like we were mentioning early on in the podcast, UK will be rocking the denim against Tennessee. It was announced on Christmas Day by UK Athletics, Kentucky men's basketball, and Mark Pope, and we were like, wow. Like this is so surprising. Like we all knew, the denim jerseys, like they were in the works and everything, but nobody knew whenever it was going to come. Like everybody was hoping it would come against St. John's, but that never actually happened. Like you told on the podcast that they didn't even exist at that time. And then of course, come Christmas Day, got announced that UK would be wearing the denims versus Tennessee. So I'm very excited about that. Hopefully, that gives UK some good luck and they can actually defeat Tennessee at home like they did earlier in the season, except, they went to Knoxville to be able to defeat Tennessee.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the Tennessee game is always a fun one, and then you add this flair to it to have this, and they had titled it "Unwrapping Tradition." So now it's
Yeah.
the what would that be? 30 year since we last wore these, so we're
Yep.
getting to pull them out again. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Getting to see the denim again. I know some of the fan base is kind of like some of the fan base hates that we would ever do alternates. Some of the fan base hates the denim, thinking they're just ugly. I think it's awesome. If you can do it as like a once, twice, maybe at the most a year, I think
Yeah.
it's awesome. So we'll be having that, and obviously we talked about all the gear and stuff that they dropped for it. I'm very excited about it. I'm
Yeah.
curious what Pope is gonna wear because KSR had a caller today that said that they know his suit guy, and they're bringing in some full denim suit, which I thought that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you better go out there and prove it. And honestly, as soon as they announce this, unwrapping tradition, we're wearing the denims again, whatever, against Tennessee, my immediate thought, which like I've always talked about, I'm a sunshine pumper. I'm all sunshine and rainbows. But as soon as I thought about it, I was like, man, we wore alternates against Tennessee one time. It was where we brought those light gray
Like, great.
uniforms with the
Yeah.
COVID team, and we lost in them. We honestly played pretty well for I mean, how bad we were that
Yeah.
year. So
Weren't
I don't
they?
know if you want to look at like the fact that we were playing better, or the fact that we
Yeah.
lost the game, whatever it may be. But this will now be another time that we pull out the like alternates against them.
Yeah, and that gray uniform or jersey looked like white as well. Like
Yes,
it
yeah, it
didn't
was
look,
extremely close to white.
yeah. So I guess white is the thing for UK instead of going for that gray or denim or whatever it might be. Hey, if you're wearing a black jersey, it'll actually be white.
Yeah, I mean that one was kind of wild. I don't know what was going on there, but
Yeah.
and then also didn't we do it? Hold on, am I tripping? I'm trying to fact check it real quick. Didn't we do the gray uniforms in 2011, 2012 with
Yeah,
Tennessee as well?
yeah. I don't know if it was Tennessee, but I do remember like they were actually gray and everything.
Yeah, they were actually like a dark gray. Like I
Yeah.
actually loved them. I thought they looked awesome.
Yes.
I'm trying to find like pictures to fact check it. I can't find a picture of like where it shows the team we were playing.
Uh, it was against Tennessee. Yep.
Okay, all right. So this is now the third time that we've done alternates. Then
Yep. I'm
I
trying to.
personally loved those. What were your thoughts about them? The 2012
Oh,
ones.
I actually did like the alternate grades, like the ones that they wore against Tennessee in the Cal era, like the 2011, 2012 team. Like I actually did like those in jerseys, but no, I'm a big fan of alternate jerseys. Like, we don't have to always wear them like every single game, but wear them like, wear like there's 31 games in the regular season, so maybe wear alternate uniforms for 5 or 6 games, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think if we could do some sort of like, I mean, I know some people like the blue and white, just classic, but like if you could go a gray once, a black once, and a
Yeah.
denim once, and then like the throwbacks that Cal had brought towards the end of his tenure, like
Yep.
maybe go those once or twice, maybe once with the white, once with the blue, but like for the most part, like you said, keep it very very classic. But I would like to see a little bit. I mean, we only wore those black ones one time against Florida A&M, and we
Yeah.
just never wore them again.
Yeah, we need to bring back the Bill Kitely jerseys.
The Bill Kiley jerseys were awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
those would be awesome to bring back.
yeah, like let's bring those back or something. I didn't know he was from my hometown until recently, so the more you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Two
Lawrenceburg,
two
Kentucky.
legends,
Yeah,
two
well,
legends from Lawrenceburg.
yeah, two legends from Lawrenceburg for sure. But we'll talk a little bit about Tennessee. Of course, UK, they had that major upset against them. Like we got down 17, 18 points against them, came back, of course, defeat them at their court 80 to 78. And I'm hoping UK does the same thing, or not exactly the same thing, but at least they can get the win against Tennessee and not get down 17, 18 points, like actually maintain the game, like have a lead throughout and actually defeat them again, like we did last year, going 2-0 against him in the regular season.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully we don't have to do anything close to how much we had to come back. What was it, 18 in that one?
Yeah, it was
Or
17 or 8.
17?
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried about 17. Yeah, hopefully we don't need any of that in this one and kind of lead start to finish. But I
Yeah.
was also just looking at the Anthony Davis highlights. Shout out to Daniel Hager, the
Yeah.
GOAT.
Can take.
He was so ridiculous. Like it
Yep.
doesn't matter how many times you can watch him, it blows your mind every time.
Yep.
But that Tennessee game, obviously, I mean that's one of those. It's like there's so many moments from that game, and I know it was like literally it feels like 3 hours ago that it was played, but like there's so many moments from that game that like are going to be engraved in my brain for a long time. Like there's like Mark Pope running a Usain Bolt 40 to go get Brandon Garrison and pull him off
Yeah.
of that whole scrap there. There's the Oway face up with Jalen Carey that was awesome.
Yeah.
There's the Colin Chandler jump in the passing lanes. There's all these awesome moments that came from that game, and obviously
Yep.
no Cam Williams this time. We lost him since then, but like the rest of the team outside, like Cam Williams didn't even have a great game against them. He had 2 points, only played 15 minutes, but like the rest of that team, they had three guys come off the bench in double figures.
Mhm.
Mohamed Diabate with 10, Colin Chandler with 12, Jasper Johnson with 12. Jasper was huge in that first half.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him be huge throughout this one, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. A little rematch. They're gonna come with a lot of fuel, and like we had mentioned earlier, they've been playing pretty well recently. So,
Yeah.
and obviously they're still ranked. What are they, like 25 now? I think.
Yeah. Tennessee is still
Um,
ranked in the top 25 at number
but
25.
yeah, they just won tonight against Ole Miss, or tonight as we're filming, which was Tuesday. But they
Yeah.
won four straight. They won at Bama, the first Charles Bediako game. They won at Georgia, which is not easy. But then Auburn and Ole Miss. Like it's been a pretty good run. that
Mhm.
they've been on. So I mean,
Yeah.
they've been winning games. Like their last loss was us, so they're going to be coming in pretty fired up. And they obviously with them playing Ole Miss, they're done. So they've
Yep.
gone on a win streak since they played us last.
Yeah, and I always want a team to always defeat their last opponent going to, whoever UK plays against. So like you were saying, Tennessee was able to defeat Ole Miss. So that's why I always want, always have the opposing team win their last opponent. So they have that, high boost or whatever saying, hey, we can, come maybe off a little slow and, still defeat this opponent compared to if, you know, like Tennessee, if they lost to or if Tennessee lost to Ole Miss, then Tennessee would be like, we need to get some revenge. Of course, they want revenge against Kentucky after blowing that big lead, but like Tennessee won't have that extra boost or extra energy to get that revenge because they actually defeat Ole Miss.
Yeah, for sure. They got Chris Beard so fired up they got thrown out too. It was a
Really?
wild game. Like he had like left and then like came back to say something else to his players, which I had never seen before, and then he left again. Like it was a full
Yeah.
dramatic thing. But I
Yeah.
mean, we've talked about him before with like I mean their best player. He doesn't lead them in scoring. It's Jacoby Gillespie, but Nate Ament has absolutely figured it out, which
Yeah.
is scary. 4 of his last 6, he's been above 20 points. He had 17 against us. 19 what was his other one below 20 in the last 6, but that was in an overtime game at Georgia, and it's still a great game played by him. So he's figured it out
Yep.
fully. Like he's
Yeah.
literally turning into the 5-star right before our eyes
Mhm.
that he was expected to be going in there. So he's going to be a big task to slow down in
Yep.
this one. And we've seen some of their good players come into Rupp and for some reason just have good games the last couple of years, and
Yep.
hopefully that doesn't happen this time.
Yeah, but let's be Emmett. You've got definitely stuff for both of them, and like talking about a little bit about Emmett, and then we can wrap up this podcast. It's crazy how much confidence and trust Rick Barnes has put into Nate Emmett. Like a lot of coaches could have just benched him, saying, "Hey, you've been playing awful. You've been struggling. Like we're going to bench you. Of course, not for the whole game, but like Emmett only plays like 20, 25 minutes a game because of how much he's been struggling. But no, Rick Barnes fully, trusted in Emmett that he was going to get out this freshman slump and actually become the great player that, he was listed in high school. And he has been overall a great player for Tennessee, and he's going to be probably a top 10 NBA draft pick for sure.
Yeah, he's going to be getting selected by some GM here
Yeah.
in a few months from now for sure. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a big challenge, and obviously he's one of the best players that we've played. And I'm curious how we'll handle him this time because we slowed him down in a way. I mean, he got 17 against us,
Yeah.
but I mean he's been scoring upper 20s recently. So I mean he's going to be a challenge. But I
Yeah.
just want to see the one goal I have for us going into this game because I was going back to look. We lost the rebound battle by 7. I think if you can even that out and maybe, I mean, it's a loser mentality to say like you can even lose it. But if you lose the rebound battle by 3,
Hmm.
that's my main goal. I think if you can lose that by 3 or win the battle, I
Yeah.
think you're going to be in a pretty good spot. So that's kind of my one
Yeah.
goal is like grab the first one, don't allow second chance points. They had 16 offensive rebounds in that one. Like,
Yeah.
let's
Gotta
limit
stop that.
those.
Yeah. Gotta stop the 16 offensive rebounds. Can't have that for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and that was, I think the stat for the NBA is like 63% of the time or something when a team leads in offensive rebounds, they win the game. That's a good enough margin to actually take those personal and not allow those to happen. So I expect like Mo Diabate, BG to give some good minutes, and Malachi. I expect a
Yeah.
big game out of those guys, and
Yeah.
I hope when they bring it again.
Yeah, for sure. And then I don't know if you saw your Twitter DMs, but I just sent you what I think, the jerseys are going to look like on Saturday versus Tennessee. And it looks like it's going to be those white denims, which, like I don't have the picture pulled up, but maybe I'll put it, edit in on what the jersey will probably look like on Saturday. And I'm kind of disappointed, it's not the full out denims like the denim is on the side of the jersey like and the shorts, but it's not actually full out denim like the blue jerseys they used to rock back in the day.
Yeah, I mean it's not the blue ones for sure, but
Yeah,
the shorts that they showed in that picture, um, it was these. If you're watching on YouTube, it was
yeah,
these, which would be
yeah,
the exact ones that you sent, the
yep,
white ones that we wore back in the day, which also that shows a little less denim than what I think people were wanting. But
Yeah.
like the NCAA and college is so weird about teams wearing like the colored jerseys at home and like you got to wear your white. Like it's weird. I mean, people do it, so I wonder if Kentucky even tried to be like, hey, why don't we wear the blue and you guys wear white or something? But
Yeah.
who knows? But at least we're getting some form of denim. Like
Mhm.
that's gonna be a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, for sure. But do you want to get into maybe a score prediction and MVP for that game? I know we probably won't have another podcast this week. Like this is probably going to be our only one that's talking about Oklahoma, and then of course, like giving a random score prediction for this Tennessee game.
Yeah, yep, that'll work. Yeah, I mean, busy week for the fellas,
Yeah.
and so we'll kind of throw them in
Yeah.
one podcast here.
Yeah, so we'll get into score predictions and MVPs for the Tennessee game. Of course, the last game ended 80-78, and I feel like it's going to be kind of high scoring like it was last game. I'll go with UK since it's at home at Rupp Arena. I know we don't have Cam Williams, but I just think UK can actually get this win against Tennessee. And I know it's going to be close. Like I expect UK to probably be like anywhere between 2.5 to 4.5 point favorites against Tennessee. Of course, the spread doesn't come out till probably Friday, so we won't know. But my best guess probably it's going to be close 2.5 to 4.5 point spread for UK favorites. So I'm going with UK. They are going to get this win. It's going to be kind of high scoring like the game against Tennessee away. I'll go 83. I'll go 83-77 UK. UK, they make a couple of free throws at the end to extend their lead, but UK they win by 6 points just because of free throws. And then MVP, I'll go with Colin Chandler just because he had that, game ceiling steal, and then of course that assist to Otega away. Like I feel like, Chandler will be prepared and everything, and he's going to go off against him. I'll go 14 points. Uh, let's go 14 points, like 5 dimes, and then like 3 rebounds or something like that.
Okay, I like that. I like that. It's always tough for me to just not pick Owe, like
Yeah,
if he's available and you didn't pick him because he's just like naturally gonna get
yeah,
20. Um, but I won't pick him for my MVP. But my score is gonna be. I also agree with you with your spread. It'll be like 2 to 4 or something. I feel like it'll probably just be like 2.5. And like that just feels like that's what it would be. I have
yeah,
the Cats covering in a close one, high scoring, like you had mentioned. I just feel like it's going to take a lot both ways. This isn't the Rick Barnes of old where it's just like hold you down in the 60s and win a game that way. I think they're going to want to score. They're going to want to run with us, and they have the players to do it. But I think we come out on top. I'm going to go 84-77. So 7 points. So we both have us covering the spread.
yeah.
Um, but my MVP, and this one's going to be kind of, I feel like, opinionated. I think he's going to have a game similar to what he did at Arkansas. Trent Noah, the Mountain
No,
Mamba. He obviously hates Tennessee. If you grow up in that region of the state, you hate Tennessee as much or more than you do Louisville, as much or more than you do Duke. Like he absolutely hates these guys. I think he has a big game. I think he'll have like somewhere like similar to what he had with the Arkansas game. I'll go with
yeah.
he has like 10 or 11 and
Uh-huh.
like 6 boards or something,
Yeah.
something like that. But he makes big time plays and maybe hits some clutch free throws again, like he did in the Arkansas game.
Yeah, hopefully for sure. And hopefully we're both right that UK will get, 2 wins this upcoming week because like if we do that, like we're one step closer to getting into the NCAA tournament. Of course, right now Kentucky, they have 15 wins currently, and like I said, I think for them to get into the tournament, they just need to win at least 3 or 4 more games to get into it. But I feel like if you win 5 or 6 more games, you're in it comfortably, like no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. And we've talked about in the past, like us having the most difficult schedule the rest of the way. It's obviously not going to be easy. But if you
Mhm.
look right now, we're 1.5 games back in the SEC. And if you go 2-0 this week, you're going to be in a pretty good spot, like
Yeah,
SEC wise. And obviously you want to set yourself up as well as you can SEC tournament wise, because if you make it to like the semis of the SEC tournament, and like you had mentioned, you get certain wins and win some of these, like you're gonna be a no brainer to get into the tournament.
yeah.
And as of recently, I think some people are expecting us to maybe go 2-0 this week. We're up to like a 7 seed. I think I've seen one where we're a 6.
Mhm.
So like This is a very, very important week. As
Yeah,
important a week as it can get. You have two opportunities at home, protect home court, go win a couple
yeah.
big ones, and you'll have yourself in a good spot for SEC standings
Mhm.
and in the grand scheme of things, getting into the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, just get to 20 wins. If you get to 20 wins, you're automatically in the NCAA tournament for, Kentucky or for any SEC team, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, if you go 20-11, is that what that would be?
Yeah, 20 and
Um,
11.
yeah, I mean, I would feel pretty good because that would mean, say you go 2-0 this week, that means you're probably stealing one of, I mean, maybe you're the favorite in some of these, but like you probably win Georgia, maybe at South Carolina, and maybe one of the Floridas or in a road game
Yeah.
or at Auburn or A&M or maybe Vandy. Like you're gonna get a couple good wins, no matter
Yeah.
what it looks like from that point on.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hopefully UK can go 2-0 this week, and hopefully they can at least get 5 more wins in the regular season before the SEC season or SEC tournament begins. But other than that, do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. Let's get a couple wins this week. Big
Yeah, let's,
opportunities.
let's get a couple wins this week for sure. Let's get to 17-7 on the season, and then after that, get at least 3 more wins, and boom, you're in the NCAA tournament for sure.
Yep. Big
Yeah.
opportunity. Let's go 2-0.
All right, let's go 2-0, 2-0 for sure. But we appreciate you all watching on YouTube and of course listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But this is Chris Beesmore and
And Cameron Waddle.
signing out. Have a great night.